All right, we are on site, and when I walked in, everything was off over here. Out of order on everything. So the first thing we kind of started with is, why are we out of order? And I immediately heard that our carbonators were just starving. So we were running these carbonators dry. What happened is the RO system got tripped off, and that started the entire cascade effect of this. So with the RO system, we'll go take a look at that. When that happens, the backflow preventers will start leaking. So we started playing under here, and things got messed with. Obviously, it would be nice if this was mounted and secured to the wall, but this happens. I walk in, all these valves are shut off, these guys are starving, the ice is not getting made. Get the water back on, we're gonna start drying up this water mess down here, and we're gonna figure out why we have a water mess under here. At the same time, I gotta make sure the RO system is working correctly, so we're gonna go over there and I'll show you kind of what I walk through to make sure my RO system is working correctly. And then there's actually one thing to show you that's wrong with our RO system here, so I might end up ordering a part for it regardless. Alright, RO system. So these are a bit of a beast to try to figure out if it's your first time. What happened here is the breaker got tripped. I don't know how. I'm trying to hunt it down. What we have going on is we're on breaker A37, and this is also breaker A37. So I think what's happening is our floor scrubber is getting plugged into both of those, and we had some water on the floor. It might have tripped the breaker. I'm not 100% positive on what happened to cause this machine to stop working. If you are in that situation and you need to get your stuff back up, the first thing you need to do, make sure you unplug it so you're not running this bad boy with no water. You don't want to run your pump with no water. That will immediately kill your pump head and potentially lock up your motor. If I was going to do that, the first thing I would do is unplug, and then you have all of these valves that are labeled. So we have 3, and there's actually a shutdown process, which you will see. Step 1, unplug. Step 2, open valve 4. So valve 4 is right here, and it says bypass, keep closed. If we open this, we bypass this entire system entirely. So that's something to keep in mind. Just like the filters that I had on one of my Tech Tip Thursdays, this guy is how you're going to bypass. But you don't want to just rip it and bypass it. We want to shut off everything else. So we would be shutting off our number 2, which I'm pretty sure it's going to say close valves 1, 2, and 3. That's 3. Here is 2, and there is 1. Don't turn that one on. That one's a dead end. So that's how we would bypass this. Now, how do I troubleshoot if this guy's working correctly? Well, one, we got a valve. This guy right here is not working, so this does not help. Our pressure should be a little bit higher, and that's our actual pump pressure going through the membrane itself. This isn't our pressure coming in, and this is our pressure on the tank itself. So this tank down here, and if you were checking it, you have a little valve on the side, and keep in mind I ask people about this because I don't know everything all the time. If I turn him on, that's going to drain, and we can actually watch our pressure go down along with our volume. And we turn him on, and we turn off our drain, and we're accumulating water now. This guy turns on at 38 and shuts off at 58, so there's a 20 psi gain as it's climbing. So that's, I've already gone through this cycle once. I'm just verifying it stopped at 58, which is correct. I brought it down to 30. I just started draining it until it kicked back on to make sure it was going to turn on. It turned on, so we should be in good shape. We just want to make sure it shuts off again at 58, and then once we're good, then we're good. So back to the soda machine. Okay, back to why we're here. Soda machines are down, leaking water. We actually sent out a plumber. So it's funny how it's always a cascading effect whenever you're dealing with something. So when you're gonna get like 4 different stories, you're gonna have 5 different notes about what's happening. What happened is carbonator, or I guess the RO system turned off. With the RO system off, everything started backfeeding. It was pulling, anything with a pump was pulling water and trying to pull water from the lines, and that's gonna cause major leaks on all of the equipment across this whole coffee bar and this soda bar. So first thing is, we had people panicking about that. So they just start ripping valves and shutting stuff off. Totally fine, I get it. Like, how do you stop water? You stop water by shutting off the valve. Makes sense. So we got to work our way back from there. The RO system is working, so we're good there. Now we have to deal with the soda machine. Now we sent a plumber out to deal with whatever was happening. I'm not sure what they were told to take care of. But what's happening under here is we had a water leak, and it could have coincided with the RO, but we're not 100% positive. But what's happening, anytime you have a leak under here, start going through your connections, because everything looks fine, nothing spraying here. But check this out. Take this guy. Oh, yeah, that's not good. So the reason we're here is the plumber did that and immediately went, I'm a plumber. This isn't copper. This isn't anything I deal with. I don't know what this is. And they pretty much said, I don't know. Send somebody who does know. This is obviously a soda person issue. So, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this guy cut and replace it. There's one more thing we're gonna do. I'm gonna say back in the day, we were putting these carbonators just down on this, we'll call it wood, and just letting them sit here. And these do have reliefs on these backflow preventers. So if these started leaking a little bit, they would just leak into your cabinet, rot out your cabinet. We can use bakery trays and put some bakery trays under here, and that'll solve our problem. The other thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna cycle these carbonators and make sure that this backflow hasn't failed. If this backflow has failed and we're just dumping water into the cabinet, we need to take care of that. And they're not hard to change. They're just, one is compression and one is just standard MPT. So won't take us long. So let's get this guy shut off. We're gonna unplug the carbonator because we don't want a carbonator running and have it be starving. So you never want to run something dry. And then the next thing we'll also do on that is just make sure we draw down that pressure so we don't end up having some good old time getting wet. So I'll get started on that. Also, look at that. Unplug in an emergency. So if you have water pouring all over the place, unplug it. Carbonators are expensive, so you don't want to buy all this stuff. So if you shut that water off, unplug it. It saves you a carbonator, especially that pump. Those get red hot and they will not work after you get them hot. So always, 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 if you shut the water off to this machine, unplug it. And if you're not sure which cord to unplug, you can trace it or just unplug it all. Like, I can fix it if you unplug it. I can't fix it right away if you blow up one of these bad boys. So definitely critical. So look at that, unplugged. And look, there's CO2 shut off. This one's actually really well labeled. I'm impressed. Okay, so how do we trace this stuff? Great question. This is our in. So you can see this goes into the tank itself. So that's obviously not coming into the pump. This is our out of the pump. This is our in. Why is it teed? It's teed because we are running water up to the machine, and then I don't know what the other T is for. That is a little weird. There's usually not two T's, so my guess is there's two water inlets on this particular machine instead of just one. So we run pure water up. So before the carbonator, that's what these T's are, is before carbonated, goes up here, and it's for your raspberry. And if you had another non-carb up here, that's what it would be for. That's also a good way to find out if this valve has failed. If this valve, or this check valve has failed, and you're getting carbonated raspberry, that's not particularly great. People don't like carbonated brisk for some reason. And then if we trace him back, it's not too bad. We just trace it and back to our valve. So that's our shut off. This is the way I handle all of these. Why are there 4 under here? There are 4 under here because we have 2 carbonators, and these carbonators are separated. So this one is for this machine, this one is for that machine, and then we have ice under here as well. We're just gonna relieve our pressure. And then we're also going to shut off our CO2. So our CO2 coming in is right here. And I just don't want to deal with CO2, so. And we just got a little bit of CO2. This is actually going to be our drawing water off. Now we shouldn't get as wet. I still got pretty good pressure there. These both go up. One goes up, two goes up, both go up, and looks like they both go to the machine. I didn't get my valve shut off all the way, so make sure you're shut off all the way. Look at that, way less water. Alright, we have 3/8 inch lines, so we need a 15/7 Oetiker, which is 560070. We got a tube cutter. We should be good on just needing those. Plenty of tube left. Just remember, when these come up like this, you're going to be right about here. Now, if we didn't have the water off, that would have been a very bad experience. And then if you ever need to take an Oetiker off, there may not be ice. You can try. Well, there you go. Alright, this one is also loose, so we're just going to replace this whole chunk of line. Secret door where all the magic happens. Stepped away for like 30 seconds, and then this guy let go. So now I've got CO2 blasting all over the place, and I've got water blasting all over the place. So, great. It was almost dry in here. I think while we're under here, we're going to check a bunch of stuff, because apparently there's just stuff blasting apart under here. That's kind of what happens when people get under here and mess with things. Plus it's a little older, so we'll just start fixing what we can. Yeah, it's not going to be working. Ice will, yeah, if you're going ice. We'll try to get the left side up, I guess, and then we'll work on the right side. Didn't intend to be chasing it this hard. I was excited because I was going to get that pan down and get done with this. Alright, let's go through all of our connections quick. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just try twisting these. If they twist at this point, we should do something about it. So now this one is unplugged and I have the water off to it. So it's the second one in the line. So we'll depressurize him, although he's pretty well depressurized at this point because I'm soaking wet. And then we're going to clean out under here quick. This is technically repaired and ready to go, but I want to get this dried out. I'm going to get this dried out. I'm going to get the pan underneath this one. Then we're going to drain that one and get some 1/4 inch, and we'll get some 1/4 inch line and replace that 1/4 inch line. But yeah, don't need a shower tonight, I guess. Alright, water mess is all cleaned up. And the key thing is, with these pans in place, we just want to make sure that we're keeping our hoses in there. And realistically, what we want to do is we want to be able to see if we're leaking. Pretty important. I still have not fixed this 1/4 inch line, but we're going to get the Mountain Dew side up because we don't want to get murdered for having Mountain Dew down. First thing I always do with a carbonator when I start up, I always say first thing because this is how I think it should go. I've learned quite a few things, and you'll see some videos that I've been doing wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was told this is the best way to do it. So we're going to start with flooding our carbonator with CO2. First thing that's going to do is it's going to tell us if we have any leaks. We do not. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn our water onto this, and we're going to find out if our water leak is fixed. So we can actually see water going in, and we're just opening it slowly, just in case. You never know, might have messed up. I've already taken 1 or 2 baths today, so we're sitting fine. All right, full pressure, and then we're going to plug it in and see what it does. Hopefully it turns on.